What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be making a React search bar component that will have fuzzy search and suggestions. And what fuzzy search does is basically just searches for the needle anywhere inside of the haystack. So if you type in, for instance, AR here, it'll return any suggestion that contains the string AR anywhere inside of the string. With strict search, it searches from the beginning of the string. So the needle has to match the beginning of the string in order for it to return a result. As you can see here, aardvark doesn't return anything unless I type it exactly how it is, and it returns nothing else because nothing else in the suggestion works. Octopus. Anyway, that's what we're making today. Let's go ahead and jump on over to VS Code and get started. Today, with this video, I've already imported a lot of stuff that we don't really have to go over just to kind of save time. And, suggestions, the CSS, I'm not really going to go over it too much. You can find all this on the GitHub repo, which will be linked in the description down below. Same thing with the suggestions and everything else. I've already spun up the server, got it ready to go. So we'll go ahead and just jump over to Searchbar and start building our component. I've already got the input put in here. Pretty much everything's ready to go. We'll just start building it from here. Go ahead and get it styled. Go ahead and check it out and see what it looks like right now. Right now it pretty much does nothing. It's just a simple input component. And one of the things this component will do will actually be handling the state internally, but we'll also pass it an onChange function. And you don't have to do this with your component. This is just kind of how I chose to do it. But we're also going to be passing an onChange function for that. When we update the input, it also sends it up to the parent component for processing up there, so that the parent component has access to it. And then here, right here with value, we'll handle it internally. And start it off with a blank slate. Go ahead and set the value for the input so that it matches the state. And whenever this changes, we'll just have it update the value at the same time that we pass it on to onChange. Go ahead and set our properties for the input component. We'll pass on, well, we can't pass on the onChange to it. We're going to have to actually create another internal function if we're going to be handling both of them at the same time, which we'll do up here at the top. Go ahead and name it handle change, and then we'll do that function here in just a second. Go ahead and define our handle change function, and all we'll be doing in this is updating the states in this component internally and through the onChange prop that was passed on from the parent. So it's real simple. Just set value. No, it should be E. There you go, for event. And then inside this function, all we're going to be doing is updating the internal state and the parent state all in one call. And here we'll just get the value that's being passed at the time it's being called. Now whenever the input changes, it should, okay, so that's happening because we didn't actually pass an onChange prop from the parent component, which we can go ahead and do. Well, actually, we just comment it out. And then as you can see, as we update it, if we type things in there, it's updating the local state. Go ahead and uncomment it. The next thing we'll have to do is pass in an array of suggestions from the parent so that we can sort through it so that as we type, we can sift through it and show suggestions to the user. And all suggestions is an array of strings that are suggestions. And here we go. Just pass on suggestions. And in this case, I'm just passing on a file, an array of suggestions. In real life situations, you'll be basically fetching data from a database or something of that sort most of the time, and then sifting through that, sorting through that as the user types. And then here we'll go ahead and define our filter suggestion function, which will be used to actually sort through the suggestions, the array of suggestions, and perform the search against each one. And the type of search is dependent on whether fuzzy search is enabled or if it's not. And right here is where we'll do this comparison, this conditional statement. And then we have to add one more prop from the parent component called fuzzy search, which will enable or disable the fuzzy search function that you saw earlier. And basically, if fuzzy search is true, then you perform one search. If not, then you perform a strict search. And right here, we'll just return two comparisons because this will actually be used inside of a filter function on the array itself. So you really just want, so all you need to do is return true or false for each suggestion that is passed to the function. And right here, we're going to convert the string, the suggestion that's being passed to it, to lowercase, and then we'll use that as a comparison. Good practice to convert it to lowercase, because if the user happens to type in an uppercase or your suggestion has an uppercase letter in it, then it won't show up. So we take the suggestion that's being passed, which is being given to us from the array that's being filtered, we'll convert it to lowercase, and then we'll check it and see if the string includes the value inside of the input. And we'll also convert it to lowercase as well. And the next thing we'll do is we'll just add a little condition in here so that if the user types in the word exactly, then it no longer shows the list of suggestions. Since the person's already typed it in completely, he doesn't need a suggestion. Now he's already got what he's searching for in the input. Just to make it a little bit more user friendly. Go ahead and convert it to lowercase, everything to lowercase. And that will be your fuzzy search. So whenever someone types anything in, as they're typing it in, it'll constantly run this function via the filter function on the array, and will perform the search against the list of suggestions. And then for the strict search, it's pretty much almost exactly identical. We'll only have to change one single API call on the string. So go ahead and just copy this, drag it down, boom. And where it says includes, change that to starts with. And now it will only search from the beginning of the string. And that should be all you need for your filter function. And the suggestions and the way it all works doesn't work without CSS, because it'll be using CSS to actually display the suggestions list. So we'll go ahead and take the classes and add them as we go to match. This one is search bar input. There you have it. A little bit ugly, but it's fine. We still haven't passed on change from the parent, so we'll just go ahead and pass a dummy function here. That way it'll stop throwing an error. And this is where you actually handle a lot of it. It'll handle the value that's being entered. And there we go. Still not doing anything because we haven't added in the functionality for displaying the suggestion list. Go ahead and just make this look a little bit better for the video real quick. There we go. All right. And for displaying the list of suggestions, we will use an unordered list, which will just be popping up underneath whenever there's a list of suggestions available. And we'll use this, we'll just loop through it using a map function. Go ahead and set our class name here. And right here we will check and see if there is suggestions that have been passed to the component. If there aren't, then it will skip over this. So if you pass no suggestions, no array of suggestions to the component, no harm, no foul. It'll catch you right here and it won't display anything, and it should throw no errors. So as long as the length is greater than 0, length. Then at this point we will take the list of suggestions, call the filter function, and pass our filter suggestions function to it, and let it sort through and create a new array, and then we will map through that a new array to display our list of functions. So once again, suggestions filter, filter suggestion, creates a new array of the actual suggestions that has passed the filter function, and then we will map through them and display our list underneath the input component. And here we'll get each individual item, and we will return a list item component, list item element with, as always, a key. Must be unique. Whenever you're iterating over an array or a list or something of that sort, then you always have to provide a key prop with a unique value for the list that's being generated. And right here, we'll go ahead and just handle the suggestion click, and this function will build in a minute, and it's just going to be so that when the user clicks or taps on the suggestion in the list, it'll automatically update the input value with the suggestion they clicked, and remove the list of suggestions at that point. Let's go ahead and make this an anonymous function. And then now whenever they click on it, it'll fire the handle suggestion click, and it'll pass on the suggestion that's being clicked on. And we'll go ahead and come up here and build our handle suggestion click function right here. Oops. And we'll be passing the suggestion to it on the on-click event, and then right there. And all we're doing is basically the same thing as handle change. And you could probably simplify all this into one thing, but I just have it as two separate functions here. And we'll also have to call the on change as well. That way the parent component gets the same value. And we'll go ahead and try it out, see what happens. And of course, nothing. Such is life. So let's see. Let's go ahead and add all our class names. Maybe it's not just not showing because of the CSS. It should be showing though. It should be showing something. Search bar, suggestion. Yep, go figure. It was written in front of me the whole time, so yeah, pay attention to your console. It'll save you a lot of time. I skipped through it, but I spent about probably 2 or 3 minutes searching through this, trying to find the problem. And there we have it. Right now it's got strict search on, so it only searches from the beginning. And then, as you can see, aardvark. Click on it, it updates it. Then we'll come over here and go and we'll set the fuzzy search prop to true. That way when we type something, it'll perform the fuzzy search. And there you have it. If I type in AR, it returns any suggestion that contains the string AR anywhere inside of it. Yeah, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Hope you guys got something out of this video. Any questions, feel free to comment and I'll get back with you as soon as I can. But if you got something, like, subscribe, comment, anything to help me out. And if you subscribe, you also get to see some of the other videos we make on some of these other components as we walk you through building them. Some of the more complex ones may be split up into videos. Who knows? Anyway, deuces, my people. Have a good one.